Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bender Show. And of course, very excited as this is my first episode. And, I really wanted to get it out there. I wanted people to know, wanted people to understand what we will be talking about today. And also, interesting to know that I will have a lot of interesting topics that I will be sharing with you in the coming weeks and months. So please subscribe, like, share. If you do like what you see, let your friends know about it. And of course, we're going to get right into it. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is the fact that, mermaids um, is a phenomenon that has been around, for a very, very long time. And the interesting thing about it is it goes back decades, it goes back millennia, and we still don't fully understand how these creatures can coexist with us without us knowing. When we do see something like this, or we do get evidence, either, on the television, on some social media, you will get some pictures. As quick as the information is leaked, you will always find these secret entities, government entities that will come and that will confiscate, whatever information, in the name of national security, which is insane. And they have the right to go into any country and just confiscate the material and say, you know what? We are confiscating this because we want to protect you from whatever you were exposed to, which is, in my opinion, crazy because, we need to know about these things. And it's important for us to know about these things so we can understand, what is going on with our world, with our planet. It's really important to know these things. And I've always been fascinated with mermaids. And today I'm going to be sharing some very interesting pictures with you. And we're going to be discussing it just to give you a better understanding of what I'm trying to explain. Of course, pictures is always good so you can see, what we're going to be talking about. Now, the first picture I'm going to show you, and this is a very, very interesting one. It's a very old picture, but the fact is that in our oceans, I mean, the oceans is so massive. Did you know that actually space has been more surveyed or has been observed more times than our ocean has? So, we have more money put into space ventures than we do our oceans. I mean, if there's any new scientific information or new scientific discoveries to be had, why not the oceans? We might find some fantastic things. Maybe the reason why we are not exploring the oceans because we already know what's down there. Who knows? Maybe there is an agreement between humans and these humanoid, half fish people that there's an agreement where they might be saying, well, we don't go over there, so you don't come to us, that type of agreement. And that is why the oceans are not explored, because maybe government entities do know what's down there. And, there's this sort of pact between the two civilizations where they would say, well, I'm not going there because you're not allowed to come here. Could be, we don't know. So without further ado, let's get to it. Now, the very first picture I'm going to show you is that of a shark. But this is no ordinary picture. Have a look at this. It's very, very, very interesting. Now, if you look at this picture that I'm showing you right here, you can see, I mean, it is absolutely an amazing picture. I mean, look at these spear type of weapons that have pierced the shark. This is a shark, clearly, but what is really interesting, you can see there's some jagged edges on some of the weapons. Now, I will be showing you some of the weapons that were used uh, so that you can get a closer look. But interesting to know that a lot of these fish that are caught have these weapons in them. That means somebody at the bottom of the ocean are hunting these animals. So when the nets come up and scoop up whatever is down there, they unfortunately catch whatever somebody else or some other beings were hunting at the time. And then, of course, this is what we find. Now, I can tell you, just from looking at it, this is definitely not photoshopped. I don't believe it is. It doesn't look like it is. And really, really a fantastic, fantastic image. So the next image I'm going to be showing you is that of weapons that were found at the bottom of the ocean. Once again, very, very fascinating stuff. Let's go to the next picture. So here we have another amazing picture that I want to show you. And if you look at the weapons that were found at the bottom of the ocean, it is unbelievable. I mean, look at the craftsmanship of these weapons. These are no ordinary weapons by no means, and definitely not something that we humanoids, well, land dwellers, you can call it, that we would use. We don't use these type of weapons due to the fact that we won't need to use them because we live on land. But imagine if you would live in the ocean. This is definitely what you would use to catch fish. It does make sense. I mean, you have the long shaft, and then of course you would have these very pointy parts of the weapon, which would be easier to hook or to catch any sort of fish that will be swimming around. They might have some type of bow system that they use underwater, or these might just be very long spears. I mean, this one, the fourth one in particular, is quite interesting because you can actually see the jagged edges. Once you have this inside the fish, there's no way the fish is getting away because of these jagged edges stays in there, and pulling on it will give it a better hold, which is unbelievable. I mean, look at the craftsmanship of these weapons. Absolutely amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, these are authentic weapons that were found at the bottom of the ocean. Okay, this is amazing stuff. So the next picture I'm going to show you, and this is where it gets real interesting, because as far as we're concerned, a lot of us don't know what these mermaids look like. We have no concept. I mean, obviously we're not even thinking about it because we're not exposed to this information. But what if we were exposed to this information? What if we actually found images or found parts of these beings? How do we interpret this information? Now I'm going to break it down to you. We're going to show you what we have so that you can get a better understanding of what you're looking at. Let's go to the next picture. So the next picture that you are looking at is a very, very exciting one. Now, these were remains that were found on a beach, and there was some kid that was walking strolling along the beach with his buddy, and they found the remains of this mermaid. Apparently, the mermaid was still alive when they found it, and did go on to live a couple of months before it eventually died. Of course, that information we won't go into, but what we will talk about is the skeletal structure of these beings, these so-called mermaids. I mean, the first thing that really caught my eye, well, actually, two things. The first thing was these beings have the same upper skeletal structure as us humanoids. So you can see the hands, the bones, the skeletal fragments of the hands, clearly human. You can also see the upper section of the torso. Of course, very interesting to note that you can see the lovely spine over there. And what's very interesting in this picture is if you look on the right hand side of this picture, you can clearly see what is some sort of pelvis or hip area. Now, I'm no expert, but I can tell you for sure, I don't know any type of fish of this size that has hip bones, except if it's half human and half fish. That would make sense. But this has hip. You can clearly see the hip bones on the right hand side. Now, as this picture is zoomed in, it's very difficult to see what we are actually looking at because of what we have available. So I'm going to show you another picture, and the next picture I'm going to show you is zoomed out, so we can actually have a better look at what these mermaids actually look like. All fascinating stuff. So let's go on to the next picture and let's have a look at that and see what else we can discover about these amazing beings. Let's go to the next picture. So the final picture I will share with you is the absolute holy grail. Now, the previous picture that I showed you, you could see the upper torso, the lower torso, with the pelvic bone that we can now clearly see in the middle, and of course the upper torso with one of the hands clearly visible. Now, amazingly, we now see on the far right, we see what seems to be some sort of fin, which these beings use to travel through water. Evolution is absolutely amazing, as these beings have reached a point of evolution where they can move at great speeds underwater. And I pretty much believe that they do have gills, which allows them to breathe underwater as well. But fact remains is mermaids are known to have a human looking upper body, and the lower body would be that of a fish. Now, believe it or not, a lot of people are oblivious to the fact that these beings do exist. More than 70% of our oceans is undiscovered. We do not know what's down there. Yes, we've heard about the Mariana Trench. We've heard about these scary fish that you will find, at the bottom of these trenches. And the fact is, we don't know what's down there. And mermaids could very well be one of these beings living down there. And I do believe that they are real. I do believe that they live in the deepest parts of our oceans, and they wish to remain hidden, because I also believe that our society might not be ready for that encounter, but still they do share the planet with us. And for those of you that are really interested in this information, please do your research. Go ahead, Google some videos. I'm pretty sure that you will come up with the same information that I did, and you will be just excited as I was looking at all this footage. I do believe on YouTube there is a documentary with all of this lovely information that you can go through and get some knowledge on what we were currently discussing. If you do like my videos, please like and subscribe, and I will see you again with a very, very interesting video the next time. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again. Hope you enjoyed this one. Goodbye.